Hi everyone, Anthony Morganti here. I haven't done a video on Gigapixel in a while, and since my last video, they've added a couple new features to it that I'd like to demonstrate for you in this video. The first new feature is a new AI model. It's called Recovery. The other new feature is really an update of an older feature called Face Recovery. They now have Generation 2 of Face Recovery, and I'm going to demonstrate that for you as well. First, let's talk about this new AI model called Recovery. If we go over to Topaz Labs' Gigapixel website, you'll notice how they recommend to use Recovery, specifically small files, under 1,000 pixels, under 1 megabyte. What you'll find is Recovery takes a long time to run, several minutes. And if you have a very large file, it probably won't run at all. And it may not even run on your computer, so it is very hardware dependent. So it really depends on your computer how fast it will go and if it will run at all. On my relatively new iMac, it takes several minutes to do the job, and I'm just going to show it to you. On my desktop, I have an image of my grandson. This image is 62 kilobytes in size, and it is 500 pixels by 666 pixels. So it's a very, very small image. So we're going to open this up into Gigapixel AI. Now, it's doing whatever I did last time, which is this low resolution AI model. If I go to get a automatic AI model, I could just click on this little lightning bolt and it's choosing the standard AI model. And if I give you a before after of the standard AI model, you'll see there's before and there's after. And you can see it did a good job. You could see the before, how his face is pixelated a little bit. And it's just a really small file. And there's after. So it really did a nice job. I'm not using face recovery at all on this image, just the standard AI model. Now I can compare AI models if I click here. Unfortunately, recovery is still in beta. So if I do click on compare, recovery won't be here, but I could, let's say, compare standard, low resolution, and high fidelity, see how those compare to one another. When I do that, you'll see we have the three AI models all next to each other. And why don't I zoom in a little more so we could see his face a little better, and then drag these down so we could see his face a little better. And then we have to wait for each of them to render. Now I am upscaling it 4x. So I'm making it 4 times larger. Now, over on the top left is standard version 2. In the lower left is high fidelity. And on the right is low resolution. And as I look at it, it looks like low resolution is the best. So if I give you a before after of low resolution there, if I click on it, there's before and there's after. And I'll do it one more time. There's before and there's after. Now it looks like standard is the second best. So if I click on that, there's before and there's after. There's before and there's after. Some of you might consider this to be a little better because this one looks like it smoothed his skin of his face quite a bit. Here's high fidelity. Probably not a good image for high fidelity, but here's before and here's after. So let's just say low resolution is the best of the 3. The reason why I want to determine which is best of the 3, because then it's easier to compare it to this new AI model called Recovery. So we're going to cancel out of here. And then we're going to and again, we're going to go to the standard again, I think was the best. Or no, I'm sorry, low resolution was the best. So we'll go there. And there's before. And there's after. All right, now let's try this recovery. When we click on it, it won't update because I mentioned it takes a long time. But you do have the option to update a small part of the image. For example, if I'm on preview size small and I hover over the image, you see I have this small box. If I go to medium, you'll see that I got a larger box. And if I go to large, you'll see I have this largest box. It takes a long time to show you the preview even. So I'm going to go to medium, and maybe we'll go to small. No, we'll go to medium so I have his entire face. So we'll get here. Now, all I got to do is click on the image and it will update, or it will give me a preview of what recovery is doing inside the box. So I'm just going to click, and you'll notice that it's rendering preview. This actually is going to take a few minutes, at least a couple minutes. So instead of boring you with me talking about nothing, I'm going to pause the video, and when it's done, we'll come back and look at it. Okay, it just finished, and you can see that it shows the preview. It looks pretty good. I can't compare this, though, to the actually low resolution version yet. I really need to go and run the recovery on it. And you could see if I do run recovery on it, it will take 3 minutes and 52 seconds. I'm going to tell you right away that's wrong, because I've done this before, and whatever it says there, it takes around 3 times as long. So I'm not sure recovery might be worth the wait. But let's see. I'm gonna do it, and so that we can then compare it to the low resolution model. So I'm gonna run recovery, and you can see that it brings up this little box here, calculating time remaining. Now it did say 3 minutes 52 seconds over here, but in a moment it's saying 6 minutes. And what I found is that it will go part way, and then it will say 8 minutes, and then it will go a little more, and then it will say 9 minutes. So it's just going to do its thing. I am going to pause the video again, so you don't have to sit here this entire time. But before I do, I just want to mention very quickly that in the description below this video, I'll have a link to this webpage so you could read more about this new AI model called Recovery. Also, I have a link to my website, anthonymorganti.com. I have courses and presets and LUTs and stuff you could check out. I have a lot of free stuff. There's keyboard shortcut PDFs that you could download for free for Lightroom Classic, Photoshop, On1 Photo Raw, Luminar Neo AI, and Topaz Labs Photo AI. Also, there's some mini courses there you could download for free. At the top, you could see the products I'm affiliated with. You could subscribe to my newsletter. Also, if you click here, you'll get all the recent videos I've done over the past few months. Also, in the description below this video, I have a link to my other website, onlinephotographytraining.com, that I've had for a number of years. This has probably 2,000 videos on it, several articles on it, so you could check out this website as well. So we're back here, and now you'll notice it's saying 10 minutes remaining. So again, I'm not going to make you watch all this. I'm going to pause the video, and when it's done, we'll come back and we'll do a comparison. Okay, we're back. You can see it says that it took 8 minutes and 39 seconds. I'll click on done, and there is before, and there is after. Now, how does it compare to the low resolution model, which I felt was the best of the three I compared to one another at that time, which was standard, high fidelity, and low resolution? Well, we'll just click over to low resolution, and it has to re-render. Unfortunately, I can't compare recovery with low resolution side by side. It won't let me. So there's before and there's after. Again, this is the low resolution model. Let's zoom out a little bit maybe. Let this still do its thing. There's before and there's after. Let's go to the recovery. There's before and there's after. Recovery in low resolution, as far as his face are concerned, are pretty comparable. They're just about the same. Recovery might be a little bit better. Recovery is a little bit more obvious that it's better on his little shirt he's wearing compared to the low resolution. But other than that, I don't think there's a big difference. Whether or not it's worth waiting 8 minutes and 39 seconds to see the results is really up to you. Whether or not it helps one of your images better. Now, again, this is very hardware dependent. It took 8 minutes and 39 seconds on my computer. It may take longer on your computer, or might be a lot faster on your computer, depending on your hardware. Or it might not run at all. So keep that in mind. So that is this new AI model called Recovery. There's before and there's after. Again, I'll go to low res again. Let it upscale. Or let it render. You can see that progress bar over there. There's before and there's after, and one more time to recovery. Before, after, pretty comparable. All right, what we're going to do is I'm going to get rid of this image, and we're going to talk about this updated face recovery, Gen 2 of face recovery. And for that, I have another photo of my grandson. So we're going to open this up. I like this photo a lot. Either my son or daughter-in-law took it, and you could see, though, his face is a bit blurry, and that I don't care for. So what we're going to do is I'm going to just go to the low resolution model, because I did test this ahead of time, and the low resolution model was the best model for this specific image. And you can see face recovery is still turned off. I'm going to let it totally render. Okay, so there's before and there's after. You can see his face is a little bit blurry. Let's go to this face recovery, and let's go to Gen 1 of face recovery. So we have to let it render, and there's before, and there's after. There's before, and there's after. Now, the face recovery strength slider is at 65. I could try to tweak that up a little bit. Let's go to like 75 and just let that render. All right, so it made his face a bit sharper, maybe. Okay, let's go to this Generation 2, and it's 2 is in beta. We're in realistic mode. So there's two different modes, realistic and creative. We have the face recovery slider at the same exact amount, 75. And you'll notice that in realistic mode, it's pretty much identical to Gen 1. So there's Gen 1. There's Gen 2. One more time. Gen 1. Gen 2. Now, what is new about Gen 2 is it has this creative button. If I click on that, you'll notice there's a difference now. And actually, in my opinion, as far as this image is concerned of my grandson, it looks worse with the Gen 2 beta creative button pressed. There's before, there's after. You can see it's distorting his left eye, in my opinion. If we go to the Gen 1, it looks normal. If I go to Gen 2, it looks like it's kind of squished or something. There's Gen 1. Gen 2, Gen 1, Gen 2. So, for this specific image of my grandson, up resized at 4x, just like the previous image, Gen 1 definitely looks better, Gen 1 is very comparable to Gen 2 beta with a realistic button pressed in, whereas with the creative button, it doesn't look right at all, in my opinion. So hopefully that made sense. Let me try to say that again, and maybe I won't screw it up. Gen 1, this is the version of face recovery that has been in Gigapixel for a while, does an okay job on his face with recovery strength at 75. When I go over to Gen 2 beta and I have the realistic button pressed in, it's pretty much the same thing as Gen 1. They look pretty much the same. When I press the creative button, though, it's distorting his face in a way that I don't like. I don't think it looks right compared to either the realistic version of Gen 2 or just Gen 1 outright. So let me know your opinion in the description below this video. And that's it. Those are a couple new features that are in this latest version of Gigapixel. The version I'm using in this video is 7.4.4. Thank you, everyone who watches my videos. I really do appreciate it. Talk to you guys soon.